It never made you. For the very, I just want to be very, very clear. AR did not exist for too long. It has went through many evolutions over time, and it is never going to get close to the real thing. Trust me, when AR tries to make something original, it always fails piecing it together whenever it's something original. Something it copies is data that it is trained on by people that gave it that data, and that is what it is there for. You can also poison that data, and as much as people want to protect AR can also be poisoned. You can poison its database and just generate other trash. But again, we know that there are very massive tech billionaires out there trying to defend it as best as they can from poison, and it's not working because every time they find a new way to protect their AI generated content, they can never avoid one thing, and that is the freedom of expression. That is content of theory, which is the fact that no matter what, no matter how much you want to train it on the same data over and over, or repeat that process over and over, try to take out all the poisonous data, like massive green dumps all over its database that is just collecting and scanning, because I had seen AI scrapers do it before. Just scrape entire pages off and just try to get the AI to replicate that. I've seen it done before, because now they've tried AI websites, AI music, AI art, AI wallpaper, AI coding, AI games, AI generated 3D models, AI generated 2D models of 3D effects. They've already tried AI voices. They've tried AI voice filters. The list goes on. It's in very abrupt. It's out there. The channel that I have that utilizes AI art is my second channel, and it's not even about even trying to say that I made the art and say this is my form of a unique expression. I didn't say that it was my unique form of expression. I have already real art that I've worked on since 2012 and 14. It's existed for a long time. I've done it and I've cultivated that with all of the attention I had in the world left to spare whenever when I did school, but I also took upon my time to be able to work on something else other than just myself in my school, which is art, writing, and I guess those were the two major things I wanted to work on. I didn't have a very strong grammar. I didn't have a strong grammar when I wrote, but I certainly knew enough that whenever an original idea pops up, it bothers me. It makes me want to snap it out of existence. I usually never really cringed about anything I've ever made as of recently, because everything I made came from me, and it was an expression of me trying to say something, or maybe it was just something that I wanted to experiment with, which AI doesn't let you do, because AI only proceeds to generate different variations of something that it copied online from a database based trained on billions of data that has been fed. Because I've seen Elon Musk do it before with Grok and a bunch of different AIs. The companies that he's owning, which own billions of different, they own billions of dollars as a whole, but it's never going to be enough compared to one single artist. An artist on his own will be able to make much more of a difference than companies that make AI art that make billions of dollars just because investors invest in a company. All he wants is control, and that guy's a total dictator. Same for Trump. It is very obvious those who are very dictator loving, friendly people, they love dictators, so they want to be dictators, and that's what they'll be here for. They've already ripped you of your rights, and what does this have to do with that? Because the very thing that Donald Trump is passing is an AI bill, which is to spend hundreds of millions of dollars, possibly billions, on just the AI industry itself. And sad for me to even say that AI industry as a term even exists. That's a topic. Yes, the topic of AI industry literally exists. You can search that up on the internet. There is an industry for AI related tech that is used everywhere. I've already seen the papers. I've seen it since 2016, 17, 18. I kept myself informed. I thought they were bonkers in 2016 and 17 because, of course, I was still a teen. I was still growing. I was still in adolescence. I wasn't really fully straight. I still had criticisms and biases left to take care of. So, of course, slowly over time, I suddenly started understanding why they thought AI could be useful in the future. I was like, yeah, it might be very great as a use in the future. But then I started to see the other ways you could use it in the future. And that is now, as of currently, the situation currently right now of just people straight up being influenced by a retard on the internet that owns X, and I'm gonna call it Twitter. I'm gonna call it Twitter, over and over until you accept that it is not X and it is just an old man, billionaire, fat billionaire, overweight. I'm just gonna. I really. I want to. I could curse out. I could curse this guy out for a very long time, but we can't do that on this recording as we're focused on that AI art topic. AI art, there's a lot of people just straight up saying AI art is a product. It is better than normal art. Better than normal art is a very big overkill because AI never can make an original idea. Anything it reads is copies of other data that already are existent. All it does is read something and then try to reproduce it. Even when you try to teach it as much as you can, but smaller intricacies into a system, the only things it'll pick up is just more smaller intricacies in the system. It's never going to make something original. Second, a lot of people do not have an imagination. So the even just using AI with their art, just AI, and thinking that, oh, the AI is so much more better now, it's updated, so I bet my art comes out more better. Whatever you type into its prompt will define how the artwork comes out. So if you had a limited vocabulary and you're a really stupid, retarded person, you probably want to make more different art and think that you've evolved. If you just look at it for a few more times, you would start to notice that because of your limited vocabulary, the artwork didn't come out as you thought so. And maybe if you're very too stupid to even notice even from there, you probably might even think your artwork's so amazing and so legendary, so picturesque. And I was like, yes, this is true art, but the art is the same because you're a person who is literally tone deaf, and instead of being tone deaf, you're art deaf, and you can't tell if something is different from something else. So I see a lot of those people pop up in on Blue Sky, just getting banned. I know Blue Sky has been very strict about the AI thing. Thank goodness. I thank you a lot for not inshittifying your application. So just to the people who created Blue Sky, you're doing an amazing job. The ones on X though, there's just a lot of people. The very man that owns XSU, and I'm gonna call Twitter. The very man that owns Twitter right now is the very type of person who is, and legitimately and literally is, to lay off people without thinking about the very consequences of how much damage that'll do to the very customer service industry, which is an industry, and the very industry of art. To see, the creative industry is an industry that spans across different subjects, topics, studies, philosophies, politics, news, different all sorts of situations. Even there's even art history. Art history is there, but again, it doesn't always cover everything. You have to find the rest from very small and obscure sources online, the rest about art history, because there are some important people that have been shoved down under the media, just been shadow banned indirectly, sort of, in a way, where they just don't appear up until you search very hard for very small creators out there that sadly didn't get the influence that they are getting compared to their idols or creators, which again, I tell people, just don't have idols. Do not. A lot of them really scummy people. A lot of them just are there to make a commercial product, and that's another topic I'm going to touch on. The very idea that you see your art as a product is very, very dishonorable. It is very immoral. That is really low. That is scummy, and you will never be legendary. You will never be remembered for making everything. If you see your art as just a product, I would just completely just not even talk to you. I would not talk to you. And there's a lot of things I could say right here to just continue on, and just like, I'm basically just harassing my microphone here. Just, I'm gonna keep myself back. Like right now, there's like, I just want to yell right now at some of the idiots online who are just ripping off of Studio Ghibli's artworks and just putting it in there, just using AIs just to copy the artworks and then place themselves and saying, I don't realize saying that, the amount of years it took to very animate the very movies, the movies that they animate, those movies that they make. Studio Ghibli puts damn amount of years into the movies that they make. There's a huge amount of people that participate, and it's not because they're rich or they're a massive movie studio. They put a lot of care into every singular detail in their movies. You generating a piece of AI art does not make you an animator. Not in every single slightest bit. I've also seen AI animation. I've seen that before. Don't get me wrong. I've seen that before. It still is an original. Everything it produces AI animation, everything I see AI animation is ever made are copies of original material that simply just got modified, and that's what you'll see. Is I want to make, so I don't know, Superman fighting Donald Trump, and boom, you have some sort of 5 second, 10 second animation of Donald Trump fighting Superman. You know what's also very stupid is the fact that when people use AI specifically to make art animations, videos, songs, instrumentals, maybe narrations, books, and dances, or have a 3D model rigged or a deepfake using an AI at the same time to make an animated 3D dance video of some sort that's very unhinged and weird looking. I've seen it before. I've seen it just before. I've seen everything. Just trust me. There's a lot of there's NSFW stuff too, and I'm not going to get into that because YouTube's really unfriendly with that. And adult content in the AI industry is simply not taken really seriously. I've seen a lot of slop out there. And slop is a very, for some reason, a taboo term to people who make AI creations normally. So you all know, it's a really great word. You can piss off somebody really well that makes AI art with that word, just so you know. By the way, yeah, returning to the animation thing, it's just going to copy stuff and it's gonna make it look an original look. If you were to type, for example, a term, the Projectian, what will the AI generate? I don't exist on the internet as a character, a term, a song. I don't exist as a definition. I don't exist as a meaning. So the AI will try to pick up what random letters or words or terms and references to my name, and it's not going to ever find it because the Projectian is one thing. Me, I'm one thing. The Projectian is a person filled with a damn amount of backgrounds, experiences, details. I've been through a lot of stuff. When I experience, the AI will never get. That's the thing about AI art. Why artists keep calling it soulless is because the AI does not understand the experience of every single piece of data that is just scanned. All it does is take photos of the info it basically scans, just passes it. It goes through digits and codes and numbers, uses those hooks, uses those seeds or what they call it now these days, and then just basically takes a photo, basically stretches it, move around a few pixels and so, and then boom, you got an image. I can go Studio Ghibli, Web Perez Nicholas, and this is going to generate a very inaccurate photo of my face. But then people will go, it looks like you. Doesn't it just get the gist of it? Getting the gist of it for artists is very taboo. When something looks incomplete or looks close enough, quote, quote, so you know what I mean by that, quote, close enough, quote, unquote, that's not enough. That's trash. It's garbage. Nobody wants to see an incomplete render of my face in the Studio Ghibli art form. With all the lines going the wrong ways, it's getting my face shape wrong. It thinks that I'm like, I don't know, it's the AI I know that usually does this, by the way. It's going to generate an image of me with my face. It's probably going to generate an image with my face in it. A hoodie, a very terribly done hairstyle, probably, because my hairstyle's gone through changes over time, which again, the AI is not trained to just assume the history of the image it just scanned. It just goes and searches up something with that term in its database, goes through it like rapidly and instantly, and it takes a photo, morphs and stretches it out, changes its pixels and seeds, and all that other cool stuff. This is all it does. So it will just assume what the most familiar hairstyle I've ever had would be the thing that influences what it generates of me and its AI imagery. And it's gonna keep getting it wrong. It's gonna assume I'm eating candy. It's gonna assume I'm wearing, I don't know, a piñata over my jacket as a jacket, just a piñata jacket. Just gonna assume that. I've seen it generate cats with pistols and guns and cowboy hats. I've seen it generate massive fortresses. I've seen it generate all different sorts of crazy stuff. And there's also some really bad stuff it generates because, unlike a lot of people who don't want to talk about it as much, I've seen AI generate more darker stuff that I wish I could say, but YouTube is just gonna give me the the adult content hammer gonna go. Please don't say that on the video. I wish I could say that on video. So, sadly, I'm not one of those large YouTubers that can just say something very, very grave and serious without getting a warning. See my channel, if I say anything remotely too far, YouTube just thinks that I'm promoting criminal violence. So I don't want to be doing that. So the basic point of the video is just that whatever AI does is never going to get really close to the original or an original idea and concept. Everything AI does is an unoriginal concept. It is a flim-bland copy of something else existed long before its existence. For example, Leonardo da Vinci has had obviously existed for hundreds of years in our history. By now you should really know who that fellow is. It obviously the AI must have scanned whatever Leonardo da Vinci made and drew in their time when they before they passed, after they passed away, of course. And if it ever, again, I've already know my art. I took it off X because, well, I knew that Rock was gonna scan my art anyways. There's gonna obviously be somebody who's gonna go through my page, or even more complicated, because I know computer programming exists. Wow, mind blowing. There's gonna be just people just sending their own custom made AI systems that just scrape websites for info and say, alright, now I have a database to work with. Now I'm going to tell the AI to generate whatever I want. And I've seen some really unhinged and really uncanny stuff being produced from, I call it zombie art, zombie AI art specifically. And it just looks like a catalog of other trash and just pieces of slop being connected together. Just a bunch of pixels on the screen being placed together and being called art. And it's just a piece of a bunch of very recognizable franchise characters being put together, and then the person says it's AI art, this is amazing, this is art, this is real stuff. And I'm like, no, that's not AI art. That's not AI art, real art, frail art. That looks like other trash. Looks like another PDF that I've seen somewhere around before, laying around with undecipherable data in alien looking text. It looks like that. That's what it looks like to me. It just looks like undecipherable data. It looks like an undecipherable photo. Probably like one of those when they censor people, when they censor their faces on videos, those news report channels, when they censor their faces. Yeah, it looks like that. Whenever you blur their face, that's what it looks like to me. It doesn't look real. It doesn't feel real. It's soulless. It doesn't exist. It would never be relevant in my head. Never will come up in my head again. I uttered a little size corporate garbage that I see coming up almost every single fucking day. I have to remind people who are very, very, very scared about their jobs being taken away. And I'm gonna have to I keep telling them this. You control whatever you make. You control what you think of. You have your own mind to use to be able to make more art. You make the small intricacies. You know the reason why you drew the hand that way. You know why the eyes are colored that way. You know why the wheels are that long. You know everything behind your art. You have imperfections. You make imperfections. You fix imperfections on the spot when you make art. You can make it dark, bright, contrast, change saturation. You can do whatever. It's $0. You can just go get Krita, learn to fucking draw, actually put an actual put of a piss of mind into it, literally mind the fuck out of your business and learn to draw as stick people, then gradually grow in Krita. You can pick up a sketchbook for $8.99, $7.99, 80, 100 pages online. Just go to a stupid school website and buy it off there. They will give you a discount and you can start your journey there. You can be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old when you start. You can be 4. You start your journey. There are 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds already using AI generators on applications with paywalls, putting ads all over their face, with women twerking all over, with just a bunch of adult content and it's a W ads just popping all over their face because the AI art that those AI generator apps, they're just free. It's all over Android. It's all over App Store too, by the way. That stuff's around there. It's everywhere. They start as early as that. If they start as early as that, they can pick up a pencil and start drawing. If they can count with their fingers, they can count how many artworks they've made once they're done. I've made 5 stick people. Those are 5 artworks, and you're done. You draw a face of an anime girl you like very well. You can draw the face green. You can draw her black. You can draw her white. You can draw her tan, green, pink, brown, orange, whatever you want. You can make her tall or short, 32 years old, a billion years old, 1 years old. The AI will never get that. It will never get it right. It will never understand that. You post it and you give the name Utrechia. Utrechia is her name. Beautiful. That's an artwork. You're done. You are accomplished. You feel great as a person. That's all it takes to just make an artwork start somewhere. This is one thing I can repeat to people who are afraid to be creators and start something for themselves. You need to start to pick up the fucking ambition to start something with your life. Get over the fucking depressions that you have and start working your ass off. Literally put in the time to work on something to be proud of. Get your background so strong that people can never judge you ever again about the talent you currently have. That talent can be turned later into a skill that you cultivate, that you can always use whenever you want. You can take a break or you can stop doing what you're doing. You can always come back to what you worked on, the artwork that you make. You can make variations of. You can always change it. You can always scrap and put new stuff, and it will never cost you $1. It will never cost you $1. You can go over to stores and buy lots of pieces of paper, take photos with your dumb, stupid iPhone, take photos and say, this is my artwork. You don't need good lighting, you need decent lighting at the minimum. That's all it takes to post an artwork online. That's all it takes. You just need to draw something, take an image. You have a phone. You have a stupid phone with a it doesn't matter if it's 2 gigabyte, 4 gigabyte, 6 gigabyte, 12 gigabyte phone, RAM. It doesn't matter. You can still post it online. You can still make a name out of yourself. And that will be the title you will carry until you die. And if we achieve immortality by the time this decade's ending, this decade, you can say maybe this century, probably by the end of the century, hopefully immortality, if it's ever reached, you won't have to die, and you'll be able to keep that name and retain it with you for the rest of your life. Look forward, look long term, make long term choices that will be able to come back and help you. You can do this. If you make a very strong background, you can always revisit something later. It's always going to be there. It's going to stick with you. It's not going to run away from you. AI art can always disappear. It can always be abandoned. It can always be copied, remade. It's soulless. It's never going to have a purpose. And if you make your name off of AI art, all you'll be remembered for is being a copier, not a creator. That's not something I want to see happen. People, even I have enough compassion left to be able to tell you, people, you can always stop what you're doing with the stupid AI art and actually learn to meet people who make art. Sometimes those people will probably tell you something that might just change your thrilling life. They can be a drug addict or somebody stupid or violent, maybe a smart person. They can be a nerd. They can be somebody you hate with all of your might. And suddenly they have something that helps you literally, detrimentally to your life as a whole. You can literally just go back, take a few steps back and say, maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Rethink what you're doing and just figure out that AI is not the solution. Whenever people go, I can make commissions and sell AI art, that's because the people you're making commissions to that buy your AI art, for those who are on Fiverr, they know you're stupid. I want just keep repeating that to your head. People that buy AI art for commission on Fiverr are stupid. You are lazy. What bothers me more is that people, if you think, look, you're paying for something that's already been copied before, why not just make a photo collage for your stupid profile picture on the internet and then make something out of all of those random images you downloaded on your stupid phone? If you can't even make something remotely from your stupid phone with downloaded images, that will get me confused as a person as a whole. I just don't know why you're buying commissioned AI art on Fiverr, and there's a lot of other platforms that sell AI art for commission, and even with subscription. There's even people who have subscriptions that sell with subscription services based on AI art. those who are currently out there trying to defend AI art right now, please rewatch this video. I want you to scroll all the way back and rethink your decisions. There are clearly a lot of choices out there. There are alternatives to everything that you see on the internet. Don't go out there on the internet harassing and threatening people, saying that AI art is better and trying to scrutinize the very concept of art, because the art thing came before the AI art thing. As I know, computer science has existed for quite a lot less time than art. It's always there. It's always there as a choice.